restaurant. Okay, and then 1 minute past 8, the person turns up and they're apologising. The car broke down. They've been stuck in traffic. Something really bad, not bad happened, but they couldn't help being late. It was just one of those things. Now, all the stuff that went into your head at that time, all that, imagine what was going on, why didn't they turn up, don't they like me, if it's someone that you've got a romantic sort of thing with, or he doesn't like me, or she doesn't like me, or and your self-esteem's probably gone up and down a roller coaster through just being there for an hour. Okay, so your imagination kicks in when you don't have enough information, because you didn't know what... If the person rang you up and said, I'm stuck in a traffic jam, I'm going to be late, you'd be okay. But the particular person couldn't get a signal, couldn't ring, but because of that lack of information, a whole load of stuff went on in your head. Imagine another story. You are... okay, I'll tell you a story about this this family and with these 3 sons. And the father, they decide to sell the house. They decide to sell the house, and the house sale is going through, and someone comes in and says, "Oh, it's very nice, and we're going to buy it." So the father. The son's dealing with the sale because the father is a bit older, and the son's dealing with it. So everything seems to be going okay, and they're just having dinner one night, and they go out. They decide to go out for a drink, and the whole family's out for a drink. And suddenly, on the news, there's this story comes up, there's a house fire, and the news cameras just happen to be there, and they switch the telly on. There just happens to be a television there, and the father sees that it's their house, sees that it's their house, and the son's dealing with it. The father's actually moved out, and the son's dealing with it. So the father's thinking, oh, he starts panicking because I haven't sold the house. What happens if we haven't got the money for the house? We've lost the house. It's not insured now because we cancelled the insurance. So that can you imagine if your house is on fire? Well, you think your house is on fire, and you haven't got insurance, and you're out there, and you've just seen it on television, and you've always sold it, but you don't know. Anyway, so he's panicking. So he rings one son up, and because he can't get hold of the first son, and he rings his son up that's not dealing with it. And he said, "I've just seen on the television the house is on fire. The house is on fire. What's happening? Have you sold it?" And he says, "No. It was just I don't know. Your other son's dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it." He said, "Well, I can't get hold of him. What's going on? Can you get hold of him?" So the father's panicking and panicking and panicking, and he says, the son said, "As far as I know, it hasn't been sold. We haven't got the money. There's no money. We haven't got the money. It hasn't been sold." So the father's, lost everything. He's lost everything. Can you imagine what's going on in his head? And the house is gone. He's got no insurance, and he can't get hold of the son. So anyway, 10 minutes later, the son rings up, and he said. And the father said, "I've been trying to get hold of you. I've been trying to get hold of you. Where have you been? Where have you been?" He said, "What's the matter?" He said, "The house is on fire. The house is on fire." He says, have you sold? What's going on? Have you sold it? Have we got the money in the bank? He said, no, I haven't got any money in the bank. He said, what are you talking about, fire? He said, there's no fire. He said, no, there's on the television, there's a fire. I can see the house is burning. The house is burning. He said, it can't be burning. I'm in the house. And so, obviously, you can see the change in the feeling of the father that the house isn't burning, it was another house, it just looked like their house. So the thing is, even though nothing had changed, the information makes such a difference to your emotion, even though the reality is that the house, there's nothing wrong with the house. The reality of the situation never changed the entire time. But the information and how it affected you changes. So information can have a dramatic effect. And in fact, if the guy had a weak heart, it could happen that, the father has a heart attack. It could be nothing to do with, and it still didn't change anything. The father, the house is absolutely fine. So that's the thing. When you don't have enough information, it affects your emotion. It affects your emotions, right? And you start imagining things, and even though something may in reality be completely different, how you perceive it affects you on a physical, emotional level, even on an energetic level. Because when you get stressed out, your energy field changes as well. So one traumatic experience, whether it's real or it's imagined, can have an impact on you physically, emotionally, mentally, and energetically. So you just need to be aware. You need to be aware of that. Something to think about. So how can we resolve these kinds of issues? Well, we said that you've got your subconscious mind, which has got all the information in it, and your conscious mind that hopefully is here listening to me, trying to work out what I'm saying. Most of the time we talked about in other seminars, we talked about the fact that most people are either projecting into the past or projecting into the future. They're thinking of everything in terms of what am I going to do next, or in terms of I can't do that because so-and-so happened. So they're bouncing forward and backward from the past to the future, and they're never in the now. And when you're bouncing forward and backwards into the past and future, your brain is using up a lot of energy. It's like a computer that's running 50 or 60 programs in the background. 50 or 60 programs running in the background, and you're trying to, the more things you're projecting backwards and forwards into the future and the past, the more processing speed and more of your intellect is being used up. And you don't actually need it. You just need to react to the moment. If you can be in the moment and react to the moment, you can respond at the most appropriate level that you need to respond to in every situation. You can do the best you can, but if you can't do the best you can if you're thinking about is my house burning and is so and so happening, I'm going to be able to do this, I'm not going to be able to do this. So it's really important to be able to step back and understand who you are. Talked about this before, that who are you? You're not those things that are going on in your head. You're not actually the memories you've got. In fact, every single memory that you've got in your mind isn't what actually happened. Every experience that you have in your head isn't what happened. It's your perception of what happened.